Hey peeps! Today is another audiobook episode. Yay! We all love these videos so much. Today is chapter 5 of Rose Legacy, and I'm going to try it a little bit different today. I think I'm going to make it a voiceover. We're going to put some stuff in the camera to entertain you while you listen to the voiceover. So prepare yourself for that. Who knows what I'm gonna put in there. I don't know. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna enjoy it. And a little different audiobook. So yeah, let's get into it. Chapter 5. Choking on the Truth. The mud was up to Anthea's ankles. With every step, she was sucked down into the horrid stuff and had to drag her leg back out again. But she persevered, slogging across the yard in spite of the filth, heading for the paddock where she could see Uncle Andrew giving orders to 6 young men mounted on horses. The sight of these enormous beasts looming closer made her heart quail. Up close, they were more menacing than beautiful, their backs nearly the height of her head, but she kept on, the young man trailing behind her. "You'll ruin your shoes," he kept saying. "Borrow some of Jilly's boots." "Leave me alone," Anthea said without turning around. "Not until you stop," the young man snapped. "I have to talk to my uncle," she told him, and continued to fight her way through the mire. She had nearly reached her uncle when someone at another paddock, even farther away, called out to Andrew. Andrew, over here. Something's wrong with Caesar." Before Anthea could get her uncle's attention, he headed off to the other paddock. In his tall boots, he covered the ground much faster than Anthea could hope to, and before she knew it, he was even farther away. In fact, Anthea appeared to be the only person affected by the mud at all. The boy behind her seemed to have mastered some miraculous way by walking on top of it. But still, Anthea persisted, and at last, breathless, filthy, and with aching legs, she arrived at a small paddock where her uncle looked over a large golden-red animal. The horse's head was hanging down, and it wheezed every breath. It wasn't the only thing wheezing, though. Anthea couldn't seem to get her breath either. For a moment she clutched at the fence and gasped. It wasn't until she coughed, trying to dispel the sudden feeling that there was a stone in her throat, that her uncle turned to look at her. For a moment, he didn't seem to know who she was. Then a faint smile chased the concern from his face. The smile faded as he took in the remains of her once fresh school uniform. "Finn should have let you change before he took you on a tour," her uncle said. "I know you probably don't have any trousers or boots yet, but Jilly has plenty. Didn't she find you yet?" And the horse wheezed, and Andrew went back, feeling its side. His brow clouded. Finn, looking as concerned as her uncle, stepped around Anthea to stroke the animal's long neck, murmuring to it softly. Anthea gulped and gasped for air, trying to respond but unable to make a sound. There was something lodged in her throat. Had the damp air settled in her lungs already made her ill? Had she heard that the air north of the wall was unhealthy, but she had been out in it for only a quarter of an hour at the most? A jolt of icy terror went through her. Was it the plague? Had she caught it already? If she could have taken a step back from the horse, she would have, but her shoes were stuck fast. "I don't want at all," she managed, her voice sounding muffled. Don't want to be around horses. And that boy says I'm had to have riding lessons." At the sound of her voice, the horse lifted its head. It had huge brown eyes, round and long-lashed, and the whites showed in a way that she somehow knew meant distress. It shifted restlessly and flicked its tail. Anthea could clearly hear the beast swallowing, or trying to swallow, and she felt the lump in her throat expand. She breathed through her nose and couldn't look away from the horse's panic-stricken eyes. She tasted oats, and with them, something that was not oats. The thing that was not oats was round and squishy. It was now scratchily lodged halfway down her throat. No, not her throat. Its throat. The horse's throat. Anthea was feeling lightheaded now, and she held out a trembling hand to point at the horse. "There's a sponge," she gasped. "It ate a sponge, stupid beast." She choked and tried to cough, even though she knew it wouldn't do any good. The boy Finn looked at her sharply. He turned to Andrew, who raised his eyebrows. "Hold his head, John," Uncle Andrew ordered. Uncle Andrew shoved his right sleeve as far up his arm as he could and reached into the beast's mouth while Finn held it open and the other man held the horse's head up. Andrew's eyes widened and he slowly withdrew his arm. Clamped in his fingertips was a sponge the size of an apple. The horse gave a rattling gasp, and a wave of relief flowed through Anthea, though she and the beast straightened where they stood, and the horse swallowed several times, then made a high-pitched chuckling noise. If Anthea could have made such a noise, she would have too. The horse shook its mane, and Anthea did copy that, tossing her tail of hair over her shoulder. Now everyone was staring at her. Uncle Andrew, John, Finn, even the horse. Anthea's throat was clear, but her face was red and burning. How did you know about the sponge? Uncle Andrew's eyes were calculating. A desperate urge inflamed Anthea. The urge to run, and keep running, far from here. Back to the city, back to her Uncle Daniel's house, where everything was calm and clean and sane. Where there was no mud or strangers staring at her, or horses. Where she couldn't feel what a horse was feeling. She stared back at her Uncle Andrew, not knowing how to answer or if she wanted to answer. The only thing that kept her upright was her grip on the fence post. The horse leaned forward and pressed its soft nose to the back of one of her hands. It felt like a fine glove, and its whiskers tickled her fingers. A horse was touching her. Anthea reeled back with a shriek. Her feet, stuck deep in the mud, did not budge, and she fell hard into Finn. He dropped the gear he was still carrying just in time to catch her, and she half leaned, half lay against the young man for a long time, panting and staring wildly from the horse to her uncle. You can sense his feelings, can't you? Her uncle's voice was gentle. He smiled faintly. Of course you can. I should not be here, Anthea whispered. Please let me go home. Her uncle looked at her for a long time. Then he said, We can't. You have the way, as your father suspected. It's a rare gift, too rare to let you go. I'm sorry, Anthea, but you have to stay. Anthea shook off Finn's hands and fled toward the house as rapidly as she could. Her thoughts raced as her shoes squelched through mud, endless mud. But no one came after her to her relief. When she got inside, she couldn't remember if her room was to the right or to the left. Somehow she made her way back upstairs into her quiet, empty room. She had to be alone. She had to think.